So Trump just ordered an executive order for an emergency price relief on housing. What does it mean for you and for me? Is this just political pandering, or is there some bite to this executive order? Let's cover it right now. And welcome to the Living in Utah channel. I'm Mike Gallagher, local real estate agent here in the state. And if I can be of any assistance, I'll put my contact information on the screen. It'll also be down in the show notes. So let's get started on this week's video. So just after his big inauguration, Mr. President Trump issued an executive order to deliver emergency price relief for Americans on housing costs and also other key living expenses. I think that's good news for all of us. We could all do with some price relief, whether it's interest rates, prices of homes, rental prices, food prices. We all need it. So in this particular order, he has directed all executive departments to take action to lower the cost of housing and to expand housing supply. We do need more supply, as well as reduce other household expenses and boost employment. This particular bill sounds fascinating, but is it really? And that's where I do have my first question. This particular order has very few specifics. It does cover a few items, but it does highlight that affordability is at a 40-year low, and I think all of us can agree, whether you're renting or buying a home, affordability has pretty much gone out the window. Nearly half of renter households are spending approximately 30% of their income on rent. So the memo continues and it talks about how hardworking families today are overwhelmed by the cost of fuel, food, housing, automobiles, medical care, utilities, insurance. It's a long list. Now we finally get into some of the meat and potatoes of this particular executive order, where they talk about Americans are unable to purchase homes due to historically high prices. Yes, correct. It is partly due to regulatory requirements that alone account for 25% of the cost of construction on a new home, according to a recent analyst. So I believe they're going to try to lower some of these costs so we can lower the prices of homes. So President Trump has ordered that his executive branch leaders to report back to the White House every 30 days on their progress in lowering consumer costs. Well, I like that. Hopefully they mean every single 30 days for the next 4 years. So by cutting out the regulatory costs, will this lower home prices? Well, the chief economist for realtor.com, a very well-known man, produced the following statement. He said that the order is light on details for how to address the housing affordability crisis, but we find it encouraging that housing is remaining toward the top of the agenda and that the executive branch, their leaders, will be reporting on their progress toward housing affordable goals. I agree with this. I appreciate that on his first day of office or second day in office, that he is thinking about the affordability problem when it comes to consumers, whether it's housing or groceries or gasoline. So what does the National Association of Home Builders feel about this executive order? Their survey of developers and builders found that regulation imposed during development accounts for 10.4% of the price when they are building a home, while regulations on the construction phase accounted for 13.2% of the total price. Oh, it's starting to add up. In total, the study found that the cost of regulations imposed by all levels of government typically cost $93,870, accounting for 23.8% of the average sales price of a new single-family home at the time which was $397,000. So if we could take $93,000 off a $397,000 home, that's $300K. That's a substantial savings. However, I have this particular question. What about on the state and local level? There is a huge cost when you are building a home. Everybody has their hand in the cookie jar. A developer is paying large fees to develop the land, to city, county, possibly the state. The home builder then comes along and goes to build on the property. He has to pay fees to the city, the fire department. I mean, there's literally a list. When you go to build a home, there is a list. You have to see this individual, that particular individual, turn your plans in here, submit your ideas. Nearly every location that you go to, there is a fee associated with that. Those fees add up to a substantial amount of money. So if we could lower on the federal level, but also if you could get the states to lower on a state and city and county level, I think you would have even more savings when it comes to building new construction. Also, President Trump, he may open up some federal land for housing. This might be a great idea. Personally, I think a lot of that might happen more towards the Midwest and the South and the West Coast as opposed to the East Coast. But on his campaign trail, he did raise the issue about the high housing costs, and he would like to boost the housing supply. So one of the ways to do that would be to open up some federal land. Although this particular executive order makes no reference to opening up federal land, it could probably be done, maybe part 2 of his grand plan to lower housing costs. But this particular executive order does not contain that they would open up large portions of federal land for construction. Also, there's no mention to a plan that Kamala Harris was talking about on the campaign trail of assisting buyers of homes with $25,000. President Trump has not mentioned this at all. So maybe if we could combine all of it together, it could definitely help people purchasing an existing home or new construction. So I'd love to know in the comments down below, do you think the president will ultimately be able to make housing affordable? I mean, right off the bat, I personally don't think it's going to happen instantly, but I think there could be plans put in place that year after year after year makes housing more affordable. I'd like to know in the comments down below, do you think it's going to happen? Till the next video, take care, stay safe.